Marvel was bankrupt, so it auctioned off its heroes. Spider-Man went to Sony for $7 million. Then the leftovers nobody bid on. Iron Man, Thor, a drawer full of rejects became worth $4 billion. How do you sell the crown jewels and get rich on the junk? You have seen those heroes 100 times since, on a screen, on a lunchbox, on a kid's pajamas, and never once guessed a bank treated them as junk. Go back to the 1990s. Marvel was not a movie studio. It was a comic book company. It printed Spider-Man and the X-Men on cheap paper for kids. And it was drowning. Two billionaires, Ron Perlman and Carl Icahn, were fighting for control of it. The company sat under more than $500 million of debt. More debt than the company could earn back selling comics for years. On December 27, 1996, Marvel filed for bankruptcy. That is the legal kind, where a company too deep in debt asks a court for time to reorganize. The publisher of the most famous heroes on Earth was broke. So Marvel did the one thing a desperate company can do. It sold the family silver. The movie rights to Spider-Man went to Sony, a studio with real money. The whole price was about $7 million in a single payment. To feel that, a big movie can earn that back in one afternoon. The biggest character they owned was gone for less than the catering on his own films. The rights to the X-Men and the Fantastic Four went to another studio, Fox. Marvel kept the comics. It let the movies walk out the door. Then came the cruel part. In 2002, Sony released its Spider-Man film. It opened bigger than any movie ever had. It was the first film to take more than $100 million in one weekend. So the truth landed hard. The rights Marvel sold for $7 million had just earned more than 10 times that in a single weekend. They had handed gold to strangers for pocket change. Now, a different kind of person walked in. Not a comic book guy, a deal maker named David Mizell, a former Hollywood agency executive who joined Marvel around 2003. Mizell looked at the wreckage and saw what everyone else had missed. Marvel still rented its other characters to outside studios for small fees. Those studios kept all the real money. Mizell's idea was simple to say and terrifying to do. Stop renting the heroes out. Make the movies yourself. Keep all the box office money. But there was an obvious problem, and you are already thinking it. A company fresh out of bankruptcy has no cash to make movies. One film can cost more than $100 million. Where does a broke comic company find that? Mizell's answer is the move at the heart of this story. He would not sell another hero. He would mortgage them. Here is what that means. Mizell walked into Merrill Lynch, a Wall Street bank. He offered the film rights to a batch of Marvel's lesser-known heroes as collateral. Think of borrowing against your house. You do not sell the house. The bank can take it only if you stop paying. And the terms here were stranger still. The bank could seize those character rights only if Marvel's first 4 films lost money. If the films worked, Marvel kept the characters and kept the profit. On September 1, 2005, the bank signed $525 million. And get this, the heroes Marvel put on the table were not the famous ones. Marvel pledged 10 of the leftovers, names most people had never heard. The list included Captain America, Black Panther, Doctor Strange, Ant-Man, Hawkeye, and a team called the Avengers. The bench, the second string nobody picks first. The heroes no rival studio had bothered to buy. Marvel had quietly held the exact characters everyone else called worthless. So now Marvel had the bank's money and one shot to prove a broke comic company could make a real movie. Their pick to go first was almost a punchline. Iron Man, a hero the public barely knew. And to play him, the director Jon Favreau fought to cast Robert Downey Jr., an actor coming off years of arrests and addiction. He was such a risk that getting him insured for the film was a serious gamble. Remember the famous face, Spider-Man, had been sold to Sony years before, so the broke company was betting everything on a bench hero, played by a man Hollywood had written off. Then in 2008, Iron Man opened. It earned about $585 million around the world, a hero the public barely knew, pulling in more than $500 million. The hero nobody wanted, played by the actor nobody would insure, had become a global hit. The mortgage had paid off. The bank never touched a single character. But Mizell built the money. Someone else built the world. The creative head of these films was a young producer named Kevin Feige. His idea was bigger than any one movie. He wanted every hero in one connected world, the way they lived in the old comics, so each film would feed the next. Mizell made the money make sense. Feige made the movies fit together, and the plan pointed at one impossible payoff. In 2012, that payoff arrived. The Avengers, one of the very heroes once pledged to the bank as a leftover, put the team on one screen. It earned about $1.5 billion worldwide. At the time, only 2 films in history had ever earned more. A team Marvel had used as collateral, because no one believed it was worth a thing, had become one of the highest-earning films ever made. By then, everyone could see it. The company that went bankrupt selling its best heroes was now the most valuable name in entertainment. And the biggest entertainment company on Earth came calling. On August 31st, 2009, Disney announced it was buying Marvel. The price was about $4 billion. So sit with the arc. Spider-Man, the most famous of them all, sold for about $7 million to keep the lights on. The unwanted heroes, the ones a bank valued at nothing, carried the company to a $4 billion sale. That is more than 500 times what the famous hero fetched. Same characters, wildly different price. It all came down to who believed in them. The market only pays for what it already recognizes. Marvel's fortune was hiding in the heroes nobody wanted. What are you sitting on that everyone else calls worthless? Everyone remembers the empire. Almost nobody remembers the move that built it. That's what you'll find here every single week. So go ahead and subscribe, and I'll see you at the next one.